वसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Okay, we'll start with reciting the 12th chapter. Sham, open the book. So everybody open their 12th chapter. Good. Everybody has 12th chapter open? Good? Okay. Let's sing it loud and clear.
अर्जुनुवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वं पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यावेशमनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतस्ते मे युक्ततमा मतः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यम् अव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थम् अचलं ध्रुवं सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धय ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तां सत्यचेतसम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पर अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुदार्तः मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसां। मय्येवामनादस्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवशिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशय। अत चित्तं समादातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अतएतदपि शक्तोऽसि कर्तुमद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यसत् ज्ञानध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागस्त्यागच्छान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कार समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चय। मय्या Arpita Mano Buddhir Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priya Yasmano Dvijate Loko Lokano Dvijate Chaya Harshamarsha Vayo Dvegir Mukto Yasacha Me Priya Anapeksha Suchir Daksha Udasino Gatavyata Sarvarambha Parityagi Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priya Yo Narishyati Na Dveshti Na Sochati Na Kamshati Shubha Shubha Parityagi Bhakti Manya Same Priya Sama Shatro Cha Mitre Cha Tata Manapamanayo Shitosna Sukha Dukkeshu Sama Sangha Vivarjita Tulya Nindastutir Mauni Santushta Yena Kenachit Aniketa Stira Matir Bhaktiman Me Priyo Nara Yetu Dharma Amritam Midam Yatoktam Paryupasate Shraddadana Mad Parama Bhaktaste Tiva Me Priya Om Tatsavide Srimad Bhagavad Gita Shu Umishansu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Bhakti Yoga Nama Dvadasho Adhyaya.
Great. Okay, let's do 2 minutes of meditation. So everybody put the palm on their knees and close their eyes and just focus on one thought, that I am strong and I can achieve anything in this world. I am strong, I can achieve anything in this world. Okay, so everybody there had a good meditation for 2 seconds, I guess, right? We will start doing it more and more longer, so you can try your focus a little longer, right? This is too quick to finish the meditation, but for 1 hour class, this is what we can do, right? Okay, so we are on chapter number 5, right? What's the name of chapter number 5? Anybody there? Anybody here? What's the name? by now the material that we are covering, you know what we are covering, right? What Krishna Bhagavan is teaching in this chapter all the time, right? Karma Sannyas Yoga. So Arjun, in the first slok, Arjun asked, hey, should I do the karma yoga, or should I give up the karma? So, sannyas, that giving up the karma, what should I do? Should I do the karma or should I do the sannyas, right? This is what he is asking in his first slok that came up. So that's the question, right? He said to God, you praise both of this type. You praise to do karma also and you praise sannyas also. Which one should I follow? Can I leave the, you need to tell me, according to me, what should I do, right? He's not saying that I want to do this or I shall do this. He asking again to God that what should I pick, right? That's what he asked. And then God says that both give the same results, right? Whichever you pick, both going to give the same result. They both are the same thing. They both will give the same result. The person are kiddish that thinks that they're both going to give a different result, right? So like he is kiddish, the sense he's using it in this is like, how if you guys are expert in math, right? You all are expert in math, right? And then I will say, okay, let me solve the problem of your math, and I am not knowledgeable in math. What would you say? Mom, don't even try it, right? You will say, don't even try it, Mom, you will not know it. So I'm kiddish to that math problem, right? That kind of kiddish Krishna Bhagavan used here. It's a bal, like it's a bacha, it's a kid who thinks like that, right? So if I say, no, you guys, like, I'm doing Gita classes and I'm trying to, teach you Gita, and if I tell you, hey, you heard like 95 classes now, come and teach what you learned, what you will say? No, right? You will say, no, I'm not expert in this, I cannot teach, so you continue. So I am expert in it, but you are the kid to Gita lectures, right? So that kind of kid he's using. He's not using like you are, the kids are the one who doesn't understand, like little kids. Krishna Bhagavan says, those are kiddish who don't understand that these both will lead to you to the same path, right? So whichever path you will take, it leads to the same thing. But then he is saying that for you, the karma yoga is better, right? So we were learning that, he said at the end we did the 6th one, right? We are on the 7th verse, right? Yeah. So the 6th verse, he said that you are, then we finished at the 6th. So he says that, people who are, but renunciation of action is difficult, right? So he gave a warning that renunciation of the action is very difficult than doing the action. What we think is how good it is if we renounce the action, we don't have to do anything, we just sit down and relax on the couch and watch TV. Isn't that looks good? Like watching TV, just we sit down and not do any work. Mom, dad gives you a lot of chores and it's so hard to do those chores, and then school homework and all these things. I'm so tired, let me go sit down and just be, do nothing. That would be easy, right? But God is saying renunciation of work is really hard than doing the yoga, doing the karma yoga, right? So that's where we left, and why it is, you can understand, right? So after an hour watching TV, or even if I gave you a day of watching TV, next day you will not turn on the TV, that's my guarantee. Because you'll get so tired of watching TV that you would like to do something else, right? So that thing, if you are thinking that that's what we are looking for, that's not what he is saying. He's saying renunciation of work is much harder than doing this karma yoga. And he's not talking about karma here. Remember that karma and karma yoga are two separate things. Whenever I talk about karma, take karma. Whenever I talk about karma yoga, take as karma yoga. Now, I have to ask you, what is difference between karma and karma yoga? What is the difference between karma and karma yoga? Anybody remember? Because I will keep teaching, and then if you don't know that difference, then you will be like, what is Sonu aunty teaching us? Karma, I'm saying doing an action and renunciation or action is karma. And when I'm saying doing the action with yoga means karma yoga, right? So what is the difference? Anybody here? What is the difference between karma and karma yoga?
Karma is just like you're doing actions, but karma yoga is actually devoting these actions to God.
To God, yeah. So the difference is very simple. Karma is every action that we do. Every action. I'm moving my hand, I'm talking to you, I'm doing anything. Any action that you do, you are sitting quietly, breathing, that is also karma, right? But when you devote all this work, my gesture of moving hands, my talking about devoting this to God is karma yoga, right? So there is a difference, guys. Always remember, karma is all the action that you do. Until you don't put yoga into it, means until you don't put God into it or devotion to God into it, then it doesn't become karma yoga. It just stays as karma, right? So now God is saying that action, renunciation of action, not doing any karma is harder than doing the karma yoga, right? So karma yoga, now you will say that, as I keep on saying, that every action we can devote to God. Now you will say, ki, how can I devote every action to God, right? I am doing, give me an example, what you are doing.
Brushing your teeth.
Brushing your teeth, right? So now brushing your teeth can be devoted to God. How will you devote brushing the teeth to God? Is there any way to devote? Because it's a regular process that we do every morning. How do you devote every action to God, including brushing the teeth? So what do you think brushing the teeth can be devoted to God? How? Huh? What would you say to God? How would you devote that thing to God? Anybody? Just throw an idea, throw the things. It's not that you have to give the right answer or correct answer. Just what do you think every action, how can we devote it to God? Any ideas there? Yeah. Say. Huh? Say something. I think you guys can say it. By now we have finished Karma Yoga a long time back. We actually read another chapter after that. So Karma Yoga, how can you devote all your action to Karma Yoga? It's very important. Huh? Okay, Sean, you tell me.
You can say, oh, thank you God for giving me these beautiful teeth to brush.
Yeah, that's a good way to say. Yeah, what did he say, Did you guys heard him? Yes? Okay. So he said, thank you God for giving me this beautiful teeth that I can brush. That's okay too. Or here you can say that, hey, I'm going to clean up my body and my mouth and everything for prayer to you, because God lives inside us, right? So I want to clean up everything, that where you are residing. Do you keep your home dirty? Why would you keep your God's home dirty? Right? God is living in this body. I want to clean this body, keep clean this body for God, right? So everything that you do, even taking a shower, you are cleaning the body. You can devote that to God, saying that, God, this is your temple. I'm going to clean it for you, right? Simple as these things, every action that you say, right? And when you devote to God, what happens is, it actually, how we say that we want to be free from desire, and desires are generated from rag and dvesh, likes and dislikes, right? We have lot of likes and lot of dislike. I like this kind of food, I dislike this kind of food, I like these kind of people, I dislike these kind of people. So there is a lot of likes and dislike, right? We want to minimize that, right? And we want to go from yogi to become sannyasi, but we have to minimize that. And for our happiness too, I will tell you, not just for spirituality, for if you guys want to live a good life, you have to cut down to the desires, where you have to cut down likes and dislikes, right? So what happens is, if we have strong likes and dislikes, life gets difficult for us. It gets harder to us because then we have a strong opinion of liking this, and if you got into something that you don't like, what happens is then you are sitting there, being sad, not happy, and the sorrow comes, all these kind of negative energy comes to you, right? So when you have, let's say, if you don't like to do certain kind of homework, let's say a math homework, we will stay with math, right? So every day you get math homework, you enjoy doing English homework, you enjoy doing everything, but you don't enjoy doing math homework. So you like certain kind of homework, you dislike certain kind of homework, right? But as soon as you put God into the homework that you don't like, what's going to happen?
You'll start liking it.
You start liking it, right? So your dislikes minimizes. You get it? So any work that you don't like to do, if you put God into it, what happens is you start enjoying that work, you start liking that work, and then negative energy goes away, right? So that's what the Karma Yoga means. You have to make sure that we are dedicating all our work to God in everyday basis, right? If I don't like to go somewhere, right, what I do is I usually talk about this to myself that if I have to go there, God might have made the plan for me to go there. So let me go there because that hour I'm gonna dedicate it to God. And then I go there. So then my likes and dislike reduces. Like, if I don't, if I get to the point where I don't like to do any kind of work, that's what happens. I put God into it, I start liking that work. Right? So that's what we have to, in regular day-to-day life we can help. It's not you have to make a bigger changes. I'm not saying that you change the world or you change your behaviors and you change everything around you. It's not, just little things. If we start doing these little things and changing it, what's going to happen is our life is going to get easier and easier. Spiritually, if we lead to the enlightenment or nirvana or self-realization, that's very far thing for us to say. And if reach or not reach, that's okay. But at least your everyday life gets better by doing that, right? So if you bring Karma Yoga into it, it's not we are thinking about that, our goal is self-realization or God realization, so that's why we have to do it. No, it's just to live a happy life, you have to do it. Got it? Right? So God is saying renunciation of action is very hard. So let's talk about the Karma Yoga, because Karma Yoga is easier. That's where we left it last time. So we're going to start with verse number 7. Krish, it's too hot. Can we turn on the fan? Okay. Everybody open 7th. Verse number 7. You can, Sean, you can take it, look at it. Okay. You guys are ready? Everybody has? So chapter 5, slok 7. Alia, you got it, Raja? Okay. It is
Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma
Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma
Vijitatma Jitendriya
Vijitatma Jitendriya
Sarvabhutama Bhutama
Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma
Kurvanapi na lipyate
Kurvanapi na lipyate.
all together.
Yoga Yukto Vishuddhatma Vijitatma Jitendriya Sarvabhutatma Bhutatma Kurvanapi na lipyate.
Okay. So here what he is saying is, it is divided into couple sections that I'm going to tell you in this slok. So he says that he who is devoted to Karma Yoga, the selfless action. So what is he saying? The person who is devoted to Karma Yoga. Now, as he's already putting the case on Karma Yoga, right? So he's saying now we have to talk about Karma Yoga. As in the previous chapter he said it's difficult, right? So he already said renunciation is difficult. So let's look at the Karma Yoga. So the person who is devoted to Karma Yoga, now not just doing it, devotedly doing religiously. Hey, daddy ka phone. Can you cancel it?
Yeah. Doesn't impact that.
Devoted to
No, but like,
Karma
stop
Yoga.
showing
Okay. So the person who is devoted to Karma Yoga, then he says, is pure in mind, right? So we already know the person who does Karma Yoga, what happens? Purification of mind. Okay. So purification of mind, conquer the self means Jnana Yoga. Can study the self, can get to know self-realization can happen. So he says the one that is devoted to Karma Yoga, purify in mind, right? Conquer the self, and then senses are control of their senses. Control of senses come because they know self. Now they realize what their self is, right? They are these guys, this person from here to here are not bound or not even touched when they are performing any action, right? So they are not touched by karma, right? When we say we have karma, good and bad, good will result this, bad will result this. So the person who is this is not touched by that karma law. Law of karma is not touching this person while they are performing any action, right? Now, first of all, I will tell you, this person who is doing Karma Yoga, whose mind is purified, who has understanding of what their self is, who has controlled their desire and senses, would this person be doing any wrong karma, first of all? Is there a room to do any wrong karma? No, right? So the karma are goods, right? That's what we will assume, right? This person is perfect person, right? Who cannot do a wrong thing. So this person is doing all good. So then the good karma will give the good result, but God is saying there is no results of this person. There is no result coming out of their actions. This person doesn't get any result, right? Yes.
So it's just describing an enlightened person.
Yes.
And these are like the qualities.
These are the qualities, right? This person is enlightened now.
Yeah.
Right? So he's saying it's not touched by, even if they perform action, nothing is touched to this person. The action results doesn't come. Right? You understand that? Now if you look at this, it gives you all the whole thing together. It says your time is coming out.
Huh?
Something no sure. There. I don't know. Okay. So I would say that it tells the whole story here. Look at that. What is the preliminary practice the person should be doing, right? A person should be doing, what is the practice? The preliminary practice is devoting to Karma Yoga, right? What is the result when you do Karma Yoga? Or result is?
Purified.
So what is the result? Purified mind, right? This is the result. Then what happens is, when you have purified mind, when you take the Jnana Yoga, what happens? You realize yourself. So you conquer the self, right? And then when you conquer the self, what happens? What is the result of it? The nature of the enlightened person will get this. And when they get this, what happens? Then it is control of self. So what is this? This is enlightenment. So,
The camera's at 20%.
what? Okay. So that's what we do, right? Now we need to change the path. And again, always think this, Krishna Bhagavan did not ask Arjun to go and do spiritual lessons. Gita is not about teaching you a spiritual lesson. Gita is all about bringing it to your daily life, everyday actions. So if you don't think about this relating to your daily life action, then we are missing the boat. We are not understanding Gita, right? Everyday action. So now any action you do, if you are devoting as a karma yoga, what's happening is, the result is that you are not, if I go and I'm doing this, everything is coming after that, right? By itself. It is coming by itself. So if I do this and I directly relate to it, I go down, then what is the final result? What is the final result of this? All things, the 4 or 5 things that I said, what is the final result? Enlightenment, but what happens at the end?
No results.
No result. No, we are not bound to any results, right? So if you do karma yoga, forget about all these 3 steps that Krishna Bhagavan said. But what happens is, if we do karma yoga, then we are not attached to the result, and the results doesn't bother us. You got that? Right? So that's what it is. So the first thing he said here, Krishna Bhagavan says, the person who is devoted to the karma yoga, the person who is devoted to the karma yoga, what happens to it? Purify in mind. Then what happens is, with purified mind, if it learned all the literature and everything, then it becomes that you get the self-realization. What are you? You get that information. You get the information. Also you get the realization, right? You start living with it. Then what happens when you do this? Then your control, automatically the senses are controlled. All the senses are controlled. And then when you control the senses, then all that person is not bound, even if he is performing the actions. Got it? Everybody got that? You can move on to the next slok. Let me see if I missed anything. Okay. No, एक glass पानी ला दे. Okay. Run. Okay. We're gonna go to the next slok, which is 8th and 9th. And what it is, the 8th and 9th slok are both combined. You might see in your Gita also, it might have written together. Are they in yours? Okay. Because they are both together. They go line in line. So we will do all 8th and 9th together. Okay? As soon as Sean comes, we will start. So you guys have a time to open your book and look at slok number, chapter 5, slok 8 and 9. Thank you. It's too cool. That's okay. Ready? Oh, you are reading the text? No, come and look at it so you can read. Okay, ready guys?
Neva kinchit karomiti.
Neva kinchit karomiti.
Yukto manyeta tattvavit.
Yukto manyeta tattvatit.
Pashyan shunvan sparshan jigran.
Pashyan shunvan sparshan jignan.
Asnan gachan svapan svasan.
Asnan gachan svasan. Okay, all together. That's the last line is a little harder for me too. Okay, all together.
Neva kinchit karomiti. Yukto manyeta tattvavit. Pashyan shunvan sparshan jigran. Asnan gachan svapan svasan.
Okay. Slok number 9. Together.
Pralapan Vishrajan Grunan.
Palapan Vishrajan Grunan.
Unmisan nimisan api.
Unmisan nimisan api.
Indriyan indriyarateshu.
Indriyan